RIPTA, always in turmoil. This panel we haven't had on since a lot of the discussions have been happening about a new bus hub. They're chronically underfunded. They're having to potentially cut some routes, although they've put that on a temporary hold. I don't know what to do about RIPTA, and apparently they don't know what to do about it either at this point.
Yeah, it really requires state-level thinking on it, and this is where I think, not to pile on Mr. Alviti, who's being piled on this, but and it's not completely his fault, but this is where you need a broader plan that adequately funds public transit. Whatever lack of good management at RIPTA may be a minor part of this problem, but the bigger part of the problem is the state's refusal to really fund RIPTA. Now we're down 20% of people going on the buses. I like the idea of the new station. I think you need it. I understand people don't want to leave Kennedy Plaza, but you're never going to solve this problem unless you modernize RIPTA. But you need a whole approach. If we're going to hit our climate goals, you got to get cars off the road. And that requires the state in a $14 billion budget saying, hey, this is important to us. Let's figure out a sustainable funding source over time.
But I wonder if you made every bus, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you made every bus free and you had routes all over the place, would people still take it? It's the mindset of Rhode Island. We're so used to being in our cars.
But it comes down to convenience. How often are the buses running? How long do you have to wait? Where are your bus stops, and how far do you have to walk from your bus stop to get to your location? So there are a lot of things that are involved in this. What's happened here is they just keep moving the location. This bond issue was issued 10 years ago.
Hasn't been that long?
It's been 10 years since, and they still haven't figured it out, you know? So now they're choosing the piece of land that seems to be more convenient because the state owns it, so they don't have to hassle on the price or with the ownership of it. And this is a nice parcel of land, but I'm not sure that this is the best location for a bus hub because there's so many one-way streets that they have to do so much work to recirculate the buses around there. So they really have to listen to the ridership, the people who use it every single day, and they seem to be the ones who are saying this is not the best location.
And they waited for the interest rates to go up 10 years, right? To
well,
take out
and
the bond.
that's the biggest problem here. Look, the ridership that is most vocal about this, they're going to hate any change no matter what, right? The facts are
so that's baked in.
The facts are that Kennedy Plaza, as it currently stands, is an open-air drug market. It's a tragedy every time you're down there, right? So they needed to move. They needed to build more infrastructure and move that to a place that you're going to have more resources. The original idea was move it further down Doran Street, kind of right across from the court. That made a lot of sense. You'd be connected to the 195 land. You'd still be very close to downtown. I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of strange infrastructure moves that they're going to have to make because of all those one-way streets. And at a time, because of the interest rates and because of how expensive things have gotten, I think you've really squandered a lot of money. It doesn't seem like the right moment to be doing that when you're also cutting these cutting the lines or potentially cutting the lines. I know that's in the question. I thought in the Journal this week, Antonia Farzan had a great story about sort of what it's like to actually ride the bus. And
she tried to take only the bus for a week.
For a week, yeah. And it's really hard.
And she had to cheat a couple of times because the bus, it was going to take her an hour and a half to go 10 minutes.
Yeah, you think the bridge is bad. Try taking RIPTA every day.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the case. On the other, and you're never going to get most Rhode Islanders out of their cars on the bus, no matter what you do. Even if you had air-conditioned buses with movies running and whatever, and you fed people breakfast.
Pedicures in the back.
And you fed people breakfast on the bus. But at one point, we were about 50,000 riders a day. We're down to 35,000. You can get back up to 50, 60, 70,000 riders. One is it provides convenient transportation and access to workplaces for people who really need that option. And two, again, in terms of our climate goals, every car that gets taken, and traffic, by the way, every car that gets taken off the road is a big plus. So it'll never be the whole answer, but you do have to really proactively invest in it and change your transportation mix so that it's not so road-centric, for want of a better phrase.